Yes, people, welcome back to Let's Talk Premier League. It's 3 p.m, it's transfer talk, and boy, have we got some stuff to talk about. Link is in the chat as it always is. If you want to come on, want to talk about the stories we're going to be talking about, click on the link, come in, and we'll have a good chat because boy, oh boy, oh boy, did we have some things to discuss. Because I'm not sure if anyone was aware or have been living under a rock for the past about 19 hours, 20 hours, something like that. But yesterday, around about, I think 6 p.m, there was a little bit of a kerfuffle, including Tottenham Hotspur's Harry Kane. Harry Kane deciding that he wants to leave Tottenham Hotspur and wants to win trophies. As I said, don't know if you've been living under a rock for the past 21 hours, but of course, that is something we are going to be discussing today. Big up to RJ in the chat. Wolf saying Harry Kane is a red. Well, that's the thing. There's three clubs. There are three clubs that want and have already spoken to Harry Kane's agents or agent. That is Manchester United, Manchester City, and Chelsea. Now, Harry Kane has been very, very specific on what he wants. He says he wants to leave. He wants to win trophies. All three of them could deal with that. They all could. They all could. They all could handle getting him a trophy or two or three or multiple. Because we have to think, if he goes to City, they win shit. They always do. They're Manchester City. They have the most money. They win stuff. Manchester United, if Harry Kane went to Manchester United, not only are Manchester United nearing the end of their rebuild, right? They're nearing that end, aren't they? So they've rebuilt most of the squad. Ollie's done a tremendous job in getting the players that he needs to work on it. He is doing very well on that. What he now needs to do is fix a couple of issues, whether that be up front, whether that be on the right wing, whether that be centre-back or DM. Most of the places are fairly sorted, right? You've got Bruno, you've got Wan-Bissaka, you've got Shaw, you've got Bruno, Mason Greenwood, Marcus Rashford. You've got the core of a fantastic squad. You now need to add 4 or 5 players. That's not a big rebuild, right? The rebuild at United, they've done the hard bit. They've got through the hard bit. They can win stuff if they get the right players in. Then you look at Chelsea, serial winners. Roman Abramovich must win. That is the expectation of all managers. I know what Thomas Tuchel said about the FA Cup. That's this season. He certainly won't be given that sort of interview come next season because that sort of attitude is not tolerated by Roman Abramovich. Obviously, top 4 for Chelsea was a must, and it still is a must. Next season, Thomas will be expected to win trophies. He will be expected to mount a title challenge. So he needs to get a couple of players in. Again, it's similar to United. He needs a centre-back. Long-term replacement for Thiago Silva. He needs a clinical number 9. That is clear. Maybe another central midfielder, a DM that could do the job on their own. That could be a need, and probably is a need for Chelsea as well. But again, not miles away from a title charge. So for me, Harry Kane has got a lot of options, but we need to discuss Daniel Levy. But before we do that, big up to Chris in the chat. Aaron saying, no, mate, check our goal Twitter, 4 p.m. I'm aware. I am more than aware. This show goes on till 4. I will have that ready. I've already basically got the thumbnail ready. I fuck knows who they're bringing in. It won't take me long to get that sorted. There will be, FYI, guys, just in case you weren't aware, there will be an Argyle show around about 10 past 4. I'm just chucking it out there. We're signing a new player. If it's Luke McCormick, oh dear me, Charlie, you are in the mud. In the mud. Wolf saying Tottenham losing Jose Mourinho, Harry Kane is a huge L for them. It's not going to be just that, is it? Heung-min Son is now probably going to want to leave. That is quite clear. Daniel, big up to Daniel. Between City and Chelsea for Kane, for me, United are in there. United always will be. They have the money. It's just depending on if they do that, because yes, I'm aware that they signed Cavani. No one was expecting Harry Kane to be this available, right? Yeah, everyone was expecting you to be able to put in a bid. No one, absolutely nobody on this God green earth thought and expected Harry Kane to hand in a transfer request. That was not something that was spoken about. That was not something people expected either. We've got Daniel in the chat at the moment here. Kane will be wearing blue. Now Kane in red. Look, Kane has got options. Kane has definitely got options, that's for sure. Thiago Silva renewing his contract. That's cool, but Daniel, he ain't got long left, mate. To be brutally honest, he ain't got more than a couple of years, if that, left in his legs.
Good to have an experienced person there, though.
Yeah. But you need a long-term replacement. That's still fucking ski. You need someone better than Christensen, Zuma, in my opinion. Possibly even Rudiger. Wolf, you can't afford him. You mate, that's ridiculous. United can easily afford him. As I say, it's just dependent on if United do that. It would be a big window for United, because if they're chasing, I think if they get Harry Kane, they don't get Sancho. They're getting one of the two. So they're either getting Kane or they're getting Sancho, because else it messes with Greenwood's development far too much. And Ollie really likes Greenwood. So they're not going to get both. They'll get one or the other. Most likely Sancho, but I wouldn't rule United out of getting Harry Kane either. We are Manchester United. We can afford anything. This is true. This is very true. You spent 90 million on Paul Pogba at one point. Nippin saying, hope Thomas Tuchel ends Manchester City's dominance. Can you even call it dominance? I mean, Liverpool won titles. I mean, yeah, their dominance in the Carabao Cup has been something unheard of, but in terms of FA Cup, they don't seem to win that an awful lot. Liverpool won a title. I don't think there's a dominance. They've been very good, and yes, they've won many league titles, but I wouldn't call it an age of dominance.
I think dominance in the Premier League, I think you mean.
Yeah, maybe. Whoever gets Kane will win the league next season. That's how big this transfer, how big a transfer this is, in my opinion. I hear you, mate. I do hear you. And it's not just about you getting Harry Kane. It's about what he offers you. Like, not only does he offer you goals, he also offers you assists. This man is a beast. He is a beast. Nippin saying, after this season, who is more likely to be in the Champions League final before 2030? Manchester City or Chelsea? I think both of you. I even think United, if they get their transfers correct, I think they've got a chance to be in a Champions League final. Look, English clubs, we tend to get to finals. We've got the most money. We're the most superior. Spain are struggling. None of their teams made it past the quarters. They're through financial difficulties. Yeah, obviously Munich has always got a chance. PSG, but not really many other than that. Dortmund could sign Son as Sancho's replacement. Son played in the Bundesliga before Leverkusen. Dortmund got Champions League for next season, but clubs better than Dortmund be after Son also. That's the difficult thing, because I think many Premier League clubs will be after Heung-min Son. I mean, Liverpool. Do you know what? I actually see Liverpool looking at Heung-min Son. I do, because yeah, it will cost a bit, but you could probably do a swap with Mane. It depends on what Jurgen wants to do as well. We'll still love to see Son at Dortmund. So Jose at Roma, Kane to United, Son to Dortmund, Daniel Levy in the mud. Yeah, look, I Tottenham fans, you need to don't direct your anger at Kane. I've heard him already saying, don't play him in the cup, don't play him in the last couple of games. All of this, he's not wrong for wanting to leave. He has to leave for the sake of his own career. And Nippin saying, hopefully absolutely decimate Leicester City today because of what one of their players did to our badge. That's just banter. I've seen Chelsea fans losing their shit over this. Right, it's a bit of banter. It is a bit of banter. It's a laugh. Don't take it so personally. It's not as if they put it on the floor and took a massive, great big shit on it, right? That I could understand, but
Or stamping it.
yeah, they didn't stamp on it. They didn't chuck it to the floor. They didn't take a shit on it. They just chucked it to the floor, right? It's not that big a deal. I hear you. I do hear you, but don't take it so personally. We got Aaron as well. Nippin saying Son will get exposed without Kane. Son and Kane. It depends on who Daniel Levy gets in, because if Levy can get someone in of a quality to work with Son, he won't be exposed. But Son on his own, yeah. But that's the same with, imagine Bruno without Cavani or Greenwood or Rashford. He'd be exposed as well. So all good players need good players around them. That's just football. Some will have Haaland at Dortmund. I don't see Son leaving the Premier League. He's far too good for that. But Daniel, you're a Chelsea fan. We'll start with you. Now, if we look at I've heard a lot of people, and I've been a bit of it myself, but I've actually reflected, had time to think. I know this doesn't normally do. This isn't normally City's way of dealing with transfers. They don't normally buy huge marquee signings like this. But then I was thinking, how often do these types of marquee signings put in a transfer request to their club? That's what I was thinking. So when people rule City out saying it's not their transfer policy, I actually want to edge on the side of caution on that one, because I actually think there's not many times that a type of player like Kane becomes available because he's put in a transfer request himself. And then I look at United, they're more than possible to get him. It would be him or Sancho. I don't think they would get both. United fans all over the country would have a heart attack if they had both. Jesus, the Glazers they'd be stumping up a lot of money for that, unless they sell Pogba, and then you could offload the balance, I suppose. And then you look at Chelsea, who need that number 9, need that clinical striker. But then I was also thinking Kane's playing for Tottenham. But then I realised Kane as a kid was an Arsenal fan. So straight away, his loyalty to the club is not happening. So where do you see Harry Kane after the end of the transfer window? What colour shirt, what badge is he going to have on his chest?
I don't know. I think this is going to be like a bigger saga than the Sancho deal was.
Yeah.
I think it's going to go way longer.
Yeah.
I think it ain't going to go till after the year. I think it'll go to the end of the transfer window.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing a deadline day special on here. Everything's ready. Deadline day special, 8 hours of streaming. A guest coming in and out. I'm sure Aaron at some point will pop his head in. It's Aaron, of course he pops his head in. And we'll have obviously a lot of your regulars on as well for that day. That is, it looks like it's going to be a mad day. But Aaron, I want to go to you next. As a neutral, where do you see Harry Kane going? Because he's made it abundantly clear he wants to stay in the Premier League. He's chasing Alan Shearer's record. So I don't see him leaving the Premier League because he wants that record. He wants to end his Premier League career as the greatest striker of all time. Now, for him to do that, of course, he needs to win trophies, Premier Leagues, FA Cups, Champions League, if possible. Where do you see Harry Kane in the end of the transfer window? What colour, what badge is he going to have on his chest?
Mate, first of all, I'm not going to lie. When I first heard the news about the transfer request, I was like, Jesus, what a day. Like, I just came back from my date and now I've been struck with this big news. I couldn't believe. I knew he was going to leave at some point, but I wasn't expecting the bloody transfer request. But it shows how far Spurs have fallen. In terms of the club that I think he'll sign for, See, I know you said that Man will get either Sancho or Kane, but I think with the Glazers getting so much pressure from the fans and sponsors pulling out and things like that, I think it's a very unlikely possibility, but I've just got this gut feeling that they're going to get Sancho done before the Euros and then get Harry Kane sorted out on deadline day. I've just got a 10% gut feeling.
The reason I don't agree with you in any way, shape, or form is because it would cost too much. I mean, the cost would be, that. And also there's holes in that United squad that are needing major reconstruction. Centre back being one of those issues, a DM being an issue. So what I don't see United going out full on attacking and going to get Sancho and Kane. Not only does that risk Mason Greenwood's development, which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is very keen on, wants to see him do well. I also think that money could be better spent elsewhere. I think for me,
the big factor there, though, do the Glazers actually care about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants?
I think they do to a degree. I think the Glazers, Glazonomics means that they try and spend as little as possible to appease these fans. So for me, I think getting Sancho in, getting maybe a Botman or a Varane in at centre back, possibly a DM of God knows who, probably someone cheap, that may appease a lot of the fans, especially the fans that go to Old Trafford. They're the ones that the Glazers need to appease, not the ones on Twitter, not the ones on YouTube kicking up a fuss. It's the ones that go to a stadium. It's the ones that buy those season tickets, go to matches. They're the ones they need to appease. So for me, I do see it more in a way of, I just see the Glazers getting Sancho or Kane plus a Botman or a Varane or a Pau Torres and a DM. I see no more than that.
Yeah, I get that. I think that in terms of other badges, then look, I think if Chelsea gets him, then they'll push Werner out to the wide, which might actually not be a bad thing, because of course he was a wide player. So I think that, imagine having Werner on one side, another winger on the other, like Pulisic or someone like that, and then Harry Kane up top. That seriously puts City's Premier League dominance to threat. Seriously. I don't see Liverpool getting either Kane or Son, in my opinion, because I think the message still stands. They're going to only spend big if they sell big. If they sell a big player to get a big player, that's the way they'll do it. If they sell like squad rotation players like your Origis and, even I think the best player they could sell is Wijnaldum at this point, but we don't know if Salah or Mane or Firmino is going to leave. But at this point, it's
Wijnaldum's contract's up at the end of the summer, so they can't
sell him. That's free anyway, so I think the biggest sell at the minute will probably be Origi. In terms of Man City, I think Harry Kane up front will put Jesus' position under threat, but if City won't care, they're going to want to dominate and build a
somehow. I don't see Pep giving a flying fuck about Jesus' position. Exactly. If they've got Harry Kane.
And to be honest with you, in terms of Heung-min Son, and this might be a weird one to say, I actually think Heung-min Son would do really good in that Man City team. I think he'd be a creative threat on the opposite side of Bernardo Silva or Sterling.
God, that would
be dangerous.
It would be very dangerous. I see that,
and I'll say this now. I think Heung-min Son, if he goes to Man City, give it maximum 5-6 years, he will be arguably the most creative winger in English football history.
Yeah, no, I do hear that. Kenny just put in the private chat that Gabriel Jesus has a 7% shot conversion rate, which is appalling.
Kane is much better.
We've got RC Bayan. Hello, just came in to say hi. Here's hoping Kane comes to Chelsea, but chances are very less, in my opinion. Be interesting to know why you think that, because I actually think Chelsea not firm favourites, but they've definitely got a chance.
I think the worst thing that Spurs can do at this point is keep him beyond this year and not let him go, because you don't want to have an unhappy player, especially when you don't know who the manager's going to be and who's going to stay or go. I think Spurs at the minute are one of the most uncertain clubs next season in the Premier League. Crystal Palace, obviously, we don't know who their new manager is now, but I think that Spurs, in my opinion, are the most uncertain club next season because you don't know who's going to be in the squad and we don't know who's managing the squad.
There's certainly a lot of
don't care.
issues. There's certainly a lot of issues at Tottenham.
Not as much as
in
Arsenal,
my opinion.
but still, I think
Nippin
not
saying,
as much as Arsenal, but they're both as bad as each
Nippin,
other.
I want to get through some comments, please. So we've got Nippin saying, try to get a likes of Ligue 1 and Mel Sabaris on for your 8-hour deadline day special. I've got my regulars. Look, I firstly, they're huge people. I mean, Mel, I'd definitely collab with Mel. Ligue 1 not a fucking chance. That's just down to personal preference and not wanting to work with him. But I'm not, against the idea of Mel. But Ligue 1 are not a bloody chance. Also, I've got my regulars, which I quite like, and they'll probably be playing a big part of that. What we've got here, where's Lukaku off to? We'll get into Lukaku. I think you know where he could be going, but it certainly ain't going to be United, Matt. It ain't going to be United. I can confirm that one straight away. It seems Conte leaving Inter apparently, so Lukaku may want to come back to Chelsea. Very, very good shout there. Chance, yes, but with Levy, I can't count my chickens. The Moric saga was the longest ever. Does he mean Modric? Yeah, I think he means Modric.
Yeah, it means Luka Modric.
Yeah, the Modric one.
Yeah, I think he means Luka Modric. That was a mad one. That was a mad transfer saga. That was. But Kenny, you're a United fan. What chances of Harry Kane ending up at Old Trafford? What's your thoughts? Care to elaborate on why is zilch no chance possible?
The fact these wages, the price tag, the Glazers are never. I think we'll get Sancho, which I think will mean that we won't get Harry Kane. Because not 100 million, 80 million plus possibly a centre back, which will probably be about 40 to maybe 60 million. So that's already about 80 plus, let's just say 50, 130 million already. The Glazers are never going to spend another. What's the price tag for Harry Kane? Probably about 200 million.
You're probably looking at about 140 million for Harry Kane.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't think we're ever going to get. We're ever going to get him. But I don't actually think we need Harry Kane, to be fair, because Cavani, Greenwood, and Martial. I know Martial can have his problems sometimes, but Martial on form, Greenwood and Cavani, of course, great players. And Martial on form, good three strikers who have and rotate a little bit. So we don't really need Kane, to be fair. So I'm not that upset about it.
Yeah, no, I do hear that, and big up to Kenny. He's learning to speak sense. Trust us. When he first came onto the channel, that was not something Kenny would have ever come out with. Kenny would have been like, "Yeah, we're getting Haaland and Kane and Sancho and Varane, and fuck it, we're getting Ndidi." Kenny is definitely he's matured a little bit, and I was right. It was Modric. Yeah, the Modric saga was absolutely horrific, but I
remember that one.
This is going to go down to the wire, but Charlie, obviously, as a huge Premier League club fan yourself, where do you see Harry Kane ending up?
Probably City or United. I think because Chelsea have, even though Chelsea have been linked with Kane, I can't see them getting another striker because they've got Werner. I mean, surely, I know Werner, he's missed a lot of. I think he's missed over 20 big chances this season. But I think
that'll be why they want to get another striker, mate.
Yeah. But me personally, I think he'll end up at United or City, Kane. Whether Chelsea would go in for someone else, I'm not sure. And I don't think Kane, I don't think he'd be one of those people to, be at Tottenham for years and then go to Chelsea.
He used to be an Arsenal fan as a kid.
Yeah, so, but
loyalty for Harry Kane straight away is not something I'm going to be putting my money on, because used to be an Arsenal fan, then joined Tottenham. I could see him more than easily going to Chelsea. Just complete the hat trick of top teams in London, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is as well, the crazy thing about this whole thing is that Kane wants it done before the Euros. Kane wants it sorted. Kane wants it sorted before the 11th of June. So
Charlie,
I doubt that's going to happen.
You've got more chance of Plymouth Argyle securing the contracts of Mason Greenwood, Phil Foden, and Mason Mount before the end of the transfer window than Harry Kane leaving Tottenham before the Euros. And FYI, just in case anyone in the comments are wondering, the chances of Argyle signing Greenwood, Mount, and Foden to contracts before the end of the transfer window is nowhere near even close to happening on any reality or planet, unless you're doing Football Manager and you've got a shit ton of money, or you've got the editor, and then you've edited them into your squads, which I may or may never have done. I've definitely done that before. Chelsea will get a striker surely, with Giroud, Abraham leaving in all probability. Mostly we'll get Lukaku if Conte leaves Inter. Not sure we'll go in for Haaland. Well, let Chelsea. Let's move to Chelsea. Actually, Harry Kane could end up at any of the clubs. It wouldn't be beyond the realms of possibility. He's definitely staying in the Premier League. I know that much for a fact. So let's talk Chelsea. But before we do that, Charles saying Kane is coming to Chelsea. I said this ages ago and people laughed at me. I will become unbearable when Kane comes. You don't want an unbearable Charles. You're also going to have one. You're going to have one heck of an unbearable prime. And an unbearable prime is not something you want to be dealing with.
Yep. I was just going to say,
if you've ever told Latimus Prime that Harry Kane is never leaving Tottenham, all I'm going to say, deactivate Twitter, don't go on YouTube, and avoid social media for at least.
I was going to say, after that comment, I'm going to be like, it's going to be laughable if he actually ends up not going to Chelsea and going somewhere else after she's written that comment.
Thanks, Charles. Would love that personally, but Daniel Levy is still there, so doubt it. Daniel Levy will just sell to the highest bidder. Daniel Levy doesn't frankly give a damn who he sells it to. It's the highest bidder wins. But let's talk Chelsea. Yep. They've been linked with about 3 strikers over the last month. You've been linked with Harry Kane, Romelu Lukaku, and Erling Haaland. Now, we spoke about yesterday Erling Haaland not leaving Dortmund in the summer, looking like they're keeping him for that extra year, probably meaning that Riola's walking him straight to Dortmund the year after. So Erling Haaland looks like he's not going to happen. Harry Kane, there's always that possibility, but you are fighting with both Manchester clubs, and there's the rumoured unnamed foreign club. But I see Harry Kane probably turning them down. He wants that all-time record for.
If I can name the unnamed club, I think it's Munich. Lewandowski might be on his way out.
No, I think
there's always that possibility, but I just think the foreign club, and again, no disrespect to him. I think Kane turns him down because he wants that all-time goal-scoring record. He's made that abundantly clear. So that means that Romelu Lukaku is probably Chelsea's best bet. Now, there is reports saying that Conte is going to leave Inter in the summer, which means Lukaku is up for leaving. He'll be costing around £80 million. So, Daniel, being a Chelsea fan, Romelu Lukaku, is that someone you'd like to see at your club?
I want Harry Kane.
Well, yeah, but I also want to shag Channing Tatum, but sometimes I want...
Whoa. When was there a queue for shagging Channing Tatum, Niall? I'm pretty sure I'm ahead of you than this one. Whoa.
That's what I mean. See, I've already lost out to Charles. See, I want, don't get. So we're talking Lukaku. If you couldn't get Harry Kane because he's gone to another club, would Romelu Lukaku be a good shout for you? Would you be happy to see that?
No, Lukaku shouldn't come back to the Premier League. He shouldn't. Sorry, it doesn't suit him. Sorry, I'm going to be honest. Look at him at Man United. Look at him at Chelsea. No, thank you very much, hun. You stay. Like he's thriving in Italy. Why would he come back? I don't need you to come back. You're thriving in Italy. You continue to thrive. He doesn't work with the pace. He doesn't work with the tactics of the Premier League. He fails. He failed at Man United. It's not just one team he's failed at in the Premier League. It's two. There's a reason he's failed and succeeded abroad. But he succeeded in Italy and he can stay in Italy. I don't actually want him in my club, to be honest.
Also, why is Conte leaving into Milan? They've won the title in Italy.
I'm not really interested in that, to be honest. What I'm really interested in is the fact that Prime was the first and I was the second person to say that Harry Kane is coming to Chelsea. So anyone who has laughed at me or told me that it's not going to happen, let me tell you something now. Me and Prime, when I keep saying when now, I'm just waiting for them to announce it.
Before you carry on, oh no, that was for Everton. 1 minute. In 16-17, he played 37 games, got 25 goals, 6 assists.
No, it's not that. It's not my. Yeah, but you can get goals. Werner's our highest scoring goal scorer along with Tammy Abraham, and he's played
at United, he played 51 times, 27 goals, 9 assists.
Yeah.
That's
You're reading me off these statistics that I don't actually give a shit about because Werner, because you get the goals, it's not about the goals, it's about his performance. Lukaku was a liability at Man U, and I'm not being horrible here.
The entire team was a liability at Man United.
No, but what I'm saying is that it's
harsh to blame Lukaku.
Yeah, but it's harsh to blame Lukaku. I'm saying he struggled. He struggled in the Premier League. I'm not saying he's not a good player. You can see that he's thriving in Italy, as I said earlier. But he is not suited to the Premier League. It doesn't suit him. He doesn't need to come back. Thank you very much. Ta-ra. See you later. I'm done with him.
I get what you're saying in terms of Man United, where I did see many performances where he was being a bit of a poacher, where he was just stood up, not really tracking back and helping the team, and was just very slow and slugging.
You can have as many goals as you want, but your performances can be absolutely diabolical.
His first touch is a long shot as well, so.
You know, my problem is
Aaron,
that,
can I just quickly address Aaron? Firstly, the only reason you agree with Charles is because you're not brave enough to fight her. Let's put that out there very quickly. She would eat you up and spit you out quite easily. And also, if you've watched Lukaku, and I don't claim to be an expert in Lukaku and Serie A, but he has lost a shit ton of weight. He's improved his first touch massively.
Yeah.
There is look.
And he's still not allowed back in the Premier League. Thank you very much. At least at Chelsea, anyway.
Charlotte's put like a permanent ban.
Do you know what the problem is? I don't. This is my problem. I don't actually need a player like Lukaku. I don't need a player like Lukaku who actually sometimes makes things more complicated for himself than needs to be. I need someone like Harry Kane who's just going to get it in the back of the net. I don't actually need any other player. I don't need a Haaland. And anyone that's saying Haaland coming to Chelsea is fucking stupid. I'm sorry, it annoys me. Firstly, Haaland doesn't suit our type of play. Yes, as every football fan, I'd be stupid to be like, oh no, I don't want Haaland. Of course, everyone wants Haaland. But if I look back realistically and take it back as a Chelsea point of view, he doesn't suit our style. He doesn't suit us. I've seen what's happened with Werner. I've seen what's happened with Havertz. I've seen what's happened with Pulisic. How long has it taken for them to adapt to the Premier League? I don't need a player that needs to adapt. Again, like Lukaku, that's another negative thing. I don't need them to come back and adapt to the Premier League. What I need is for them to already be adapted to the Premier League. Because you can say, oh, Lukaku's only been away for a couple of seasons, but that couple of seasons then has to come back and be readapted to the Premier League because we do play differently. So no, I need Harry Kane. Harry Kane just gets the ball in the back of the net. He can show Werner, and Werner might have to compete with Harry Kane, which might actually do Werner some good. Although personally, for me, I think Harry Kane would be our striker, and Werner can go on the wing. But anyway, that's just my personal opinion. I think that Kane is our best shot. As far as I'm concerned, Man City are targeting Haaland, which they're more likely to get Haaland because of his dad's background with City. But again, I don't think they're going to target Harry Kane, to be honest. I think City will either go big with Haaland or they'll find a player that's not as well known and you buy them and create them. That's what I think City will do. Whereas Chelsea, we need someone who's already made. I don't need someone that's going to last a lifetime. I just need someone that's going to win us the Premier League next year. And Harry Kane can do that. So Harry Kane, if you're listening, if you want the Premier League next season, if you want a trophy, mate, if you want the FA Cup next season, join Chelsea. You'll get a fucking cup or two, you know. Silverware to your trophy.
I do get your opinion on the alternative for City. Like, I know Aguero was quite a big striker at Atletico Madrid, but he wasn't as well known as other strikers back then. He came to City and they created a legend out of him. So I can kind of get that.
Well, I mean, look at Didier Drogba. I know Didier Drogba was known, but he wasn't like completely well known. We bought him for 18 million. And we sold him for stupid amounts of money. He became one of our best players. Also, how the fuck he's not in the Hall of Fame right now, you baby? Oh, man, the Premier League Hall of Fame.
Who's the United player along with Cantona? I didn't see that.
I don't fucking... do you know, I don't even care, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well,
Would Lukaku be well back at Everton? I'm just curious.
Do you know what, Lukaku? Lukaku...
hold on. No.
Will not be going to Everton.
Did you just say that? Did you just actually?
I don't think
them. No.
I don't think it'll happen.
1 minute.
I'm just curious.
Did you just utter them words? Lukaku
computer says
Everton.
yes.
Hang on, I don't think it'll happen. I'm just curious.
Oh my lord!
I'm actually dying right now. This is so entertaining.
So let me help. The curiosity bit, mate. That is wow.
It's just because it's been a long time since he's been at Everton. I wonder how he's fit into Antos's system.
Right. Wow. I'm speechless. I'm speechless. Utterly
I'm not
speechless.
Gonna lie.
Some comments here. To that, we have. Hope we have a backup in mind. Don't want to end up with Werner. And Havertz only. I wouldn't mind a DCL or an Ollie Watkins in
the most unrealistic. Yeah, but they're not going to get sold. Available. Secondly, there are two players, actually three players that I think two more so than.
Can I just quickly read his last two comments out, and then I'll let you address these. 113 goals, 35 assists, and 250 appearances in the Premier League. Romelu Lukaku. And he's not a big game player, doesn't have that fluidity of a Chelsea or Man City. That I can agree, but he's much better than Werner or Havertz right now, which I hear. But yeah, Charles, I'll let you address the. I'll let you go.
Okay, so I just want to clarify: DCL and Ollie Watkins are not available. Firstly, we need a CDM. That is a big tick off. Jorginho, as far as I'm concerned, is gone. I don't even know who Jorginho is. He's gone as far as I'm concerned. So we need a CDM, someone that actually is on Kante's level, that can kind of work with him on a world-class level, because Kante is world-class. He's a World Cup winner. World-class. Yeah, great. Okay, now that's understood. We need a striker. That's obliviously obvious, because Werner, we're just calling it, literally, every time someone misses, I call it doing a Werner now. It's just the name of it. And we could do with a defence as well, because as far as I'm concerned, Zuma or Christensen could be leaving. I'm assuming Zuma. So, yeah, we're going to need someone as a backup. Also, if we're going to be challenging for Champions League next season, then I think we need a little bit of a stronger defence, especially with our injury record as well. But look at the fact that Kovacic is out, and we are we're in trouble at the minute, because we got Jorginho, Kante, and Billy Gilmour. Jorginho just annoys the shit out of me, and he's just not very good. Billy Gilmour hasn't got the experience yet to become that great player. So is only being used for the less important games, if that makes sense. I'm not being horrible on him. He's a good player, but he's not got the experience. And then we have Kante, who's, as you know, I'm leader of the Kante Hive. So yes, yes, we need
No.
we need something. I think they're the three players, and everyone's like, we need a winger, we need a right back. No, we need a centre back. We need a decent centre back that can do their job, like that's capable of doing that. I mean, I'm not really too fussed. I'm really happy keeping Mendy. For me, Mendy's thrived this season. As far as Kepa's concerned, see you later, hun. I've already had his bags packed since the beginning of last season. Jesus Christ! Like, I'm waiting for him to go now.
Kepa's not that bad. He's improving.
He's
The last time I checked, he hasn't overruled the manager again. So he's clearly learning on that aspect. Chelsea fan TV saying, yes, I hope we get Verratti or even a Kessie. Verratti, yeah, that would be incredible. Marquinhos would be ideal though. Can play at world-class level at centre back or CDM. I hear that as well. And hope you guess my name. Says hi. But please, if you are new, leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It does really help us out over here. But I want to go to you, Lewis, quickly. Lewis, what do you make of what we're talking about? So we're talking Harry Kane going to either one of the Manchester clubs or to Chelsea. Romelu Lukaku potentially to Chelsea for 80 million. And then we've got another story coming out in just a second that we'll briefly touch on, because at 4 p.m. I'm off. I am literally off because I've got a sign-in to talk about for Plymouth Argyle. So, Lewis, what's your thoughts on what we're talking about?
As far as I'm aware, Kane's going to a Manchester club. I think that's winning the stars. I don't think they'll go for anyone else. Haaland, I know.
Let him finish.
But I'm answering your Joel.
Yeah.
I don't know her name. Sorry. As far as I'm aware, Haaland, it's looking like he's going to stay at Dortmund for another season because they qualified for Champions League football. And Lukaku, I don't know. I don't know where he'll go. I would like to see him back in the Prem, but I don't know where. And like I say, Kane, I think he is going to go to a Manchester club. Who, I don't know. I think it will be one of them.
I actually know it's not a United. I know it's. I'm actually 95% sure it's not a Manchester club, and do you know why? Because they can't afford him. They actually can't. Not Man United.
It's not the Man United can't afford him. It's the Glazers can't afford him.
That's the point. The Glazers can't afford them, and
they can. Right. Stop. They can afford him. No. 1 minute. They can afford him. It's just dependent on if United go down that route. There's two routes United will go down. Right. 1 minute.
They can afford him when they're in 400 million pounds of debt.
That debt's easily sortable.
He's going Man City anyway.
He's not.
1 minute. Stop. They've been in. United have been in debt for ages, and they managed to get Pogba for 90 million. So United in debt, I don't think is a huge issue.
No. I'm not saying that. But when the realisticness is that Kane is going to be sold for 200 million.
Not 200.
It'll be 130, 140.
No. What I'm saying
maybe
is
150.
What I'm basically saying is, if he's the starting price of Kane is apparently £150. That is what I've got from a really big source.
150 quid.
Million. 150 million.
I was going to say.
150 million. But the problem is, if you have two clubs vying for it, they're blatantly going to go up. So yes, I'm not stupid in saying that Kane could be sold for 200 million. Now, I'm not saying it's likely, but there is a possibility it could happen. Now, my point
no one would pay 200 million though. No one would pay that.
I mean, you say that, but we have Roman Abramovich. He paid He paid.
I also just want to say financial fair play hasn't been obliterated yet, so you're still going to have to abide by financial fair play for a little bit longer. That hasn't been removed yet. So 200 million certainly isn't happening. All I will say is in terms of United, Haaland's not leaving Dortmund. I think No, Dortmund have already come out and said that Haaland's staying for an extra year, and he's most likely off to Dortmund, Munich, in a year's time. So that one's pretty much a done deal there. Just like all the German clubs that.
He's
all
not
the German,
staying.
1 minute, all the
I have
German
it from a
clubs.
really big source. He's not
1 minute,
staying.
all the German clubs are told to literally help out Bayern Munich. So I can see that being very plausible. It depends on what United do. If United go down the Sancho route, they don't get Kane. They go down the Kane route, they don't get Sancho. They're getting one of the two. They're definitely not getting both. Any United fan that says that they're getting both is absurd.
This is why United will go for Sancho. They will choose Sancho over Kane. And
I'm
I'm
not debating that. I'm just saying that United can afford Kane if they want to.
Man United will get Sancho. Man City will get Haaland because everyone's like, oh, Haaland's not leaving. How many times have a club announced a player's not leaving and they've left at the end of the season? Yeah,
this one's different. This one's different, I think, because
sources. I have a reputable source that.
But there's also Mino Raiola, and Mino's a bitch at the moment, and causing more issues for pretty much everyone. So I mean, I can see him staying. They would have to get Champions League football for him to stay, though.
They've got Champions League football.
Yeah, they've got it.
Oh, they got it. Well,
they
Ireland.
They haven't got Champions League football yet.
Yes,
The
they are.
season's
They have. They said it on.
It's 4 points
on
clear with a
Instagram.
game left.
They've won,
Sancho and Haaland said it on Instagram.
They've won like their German version of the FA Cup. The FA
they
Cup.
said it in the.
Yes, but they're in top 4.
Yeah, they're in the top 4 in the league.
Look, they're in top 4. Just to clarify, top 4 hasn't finished yet. Season hasn't finished.
Can I also just say, if you don't beat Leicester and Liverpool go on to win their next 2 games, you're definitely not getting Harry Kane.
And if you think I don't know, actually, there is a way we can get Harry Kane if we don't get top 4. If you want to know this, the only way we can.
Well, you have to win the champion. You have to win the Champions League. But what I'll say is, if you end up with not getting top 4 and no Champions League win, can I just say that the likeliness of Harry Kane coming to your club is zilch.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but the realisticness is that's not going to happen.
In your words, if that happens, I'll be unbearable. Very unbearable.
If that happens, I've already said.
Oh, yeah, look who's winning Champions League. Look who's winning Champions League.
Oh my Lord Jesus! What the fuck are you doing with one of them?
I'm sorry, traitor. I thought you were a Rovers fan. I call yourself a traitor.
Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am a Rovers fan.
Right.
I just like Man City because my uncle's a season ticket holder at Man City.
Let's go to some comments here, and then we'll move to our last subject. Liam said announcement at 4 p.m. Already on it, mate. Already on it. My thing is going slowly again. Please be Mullin. I think it's Mullin. Is it Mullin? Pretty sure it's Mullin.
Mullin from Cambridge, you mean?
Yeah, one of them. I don't actually want Paul Mullin, if I'm being honest. Please be Mullin, an experienced centre back. Egda saying Lukaku for Norwich, maybe not a chance. Norwich. Manu can sell Lingard, Matic, likes and raise funds.
There's loads of players.
Sure, there are others. Europa League teams would take them. They'll go to, in my opinion.
Yeah, David De Gea as well.
Yeah. What have we got here? Crikey, everyone just okay. Now, good discussion, mate. Got to go for some time. So may not join back today. Hope next time I join you. Big up to yourself as well. Egda saying Charles may have a sauce, but it's in our kitchen. Oh wow, unbelievable, unbelievable.
Oh,
Jesus Christ! I should read comments quick before I read them out. Niall and everyone, how are you all? What streams you doing tonight and when? I've got many streams tonight. I've got United match reaction.
Chelsea one.
Arsenal show. Chelsea match reaction. That's about it, I think.
I'll be at work.
Now, are you crazy, mate? You don't want Mullin. Have you seen his goals this season for Cambridge? It's not a fucking priority, or if you're asking me, mate. My priority is getting 5 centre backs and possibly a right back. Then,
You thought your
do you
back
know
line
what,
up
Liam? We've got 3 strikers. Believe it or not, I'm fairly satisfied with that. Even if we don't get another one, I really want that back line sorting as a bloody priority. So no, I'm not crazy.
Yeah, that's what you mean.
I'm just saying that I
Has it
really
feel
want
playing
5
Warsaw
centre
next
backs.
season, Rovers?
Yeah, I know.
Big up, you lot.
We're
Big
playing
up
the
to
local
Max
club next
as
season.
well. But the last
Yeah,
bit I want
love
to
it.
talk about, we've got 9 minutes before I jump off because I've got other shit to do at 4 p.m. Believe it or not. But that is Frank Lampard. Frank Lampard could be on his way to Crystal Palace this weekend, this summer, as manager of Crystal Palace. Does anyone think that's a good idea for him, or is that too much of a step down?
No, that's good. I mean, that's the sort of club he should have gone to anyway. He shouldn't have gone to Chelsea. Like, especially when you're at Derby County.
Yeah.
Derby to Chelsea, you know, it's a bit, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Alan, you wanted to say something?
Yeah,
Matt?
I think my.
Yeah, he was linked with Donny, wasn't he,
sort of have
Lampard?
a double.
Everyone was linked with Donny.
Could have got a lot of English players there, but
further down in the bookies that we'd have dared hoped. But my thought on this is, I've sort of got 2 different pathways with this. I've got like 2 different pathways with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's either to make way for a new direction, an exciting direction, or it's it's going to go down a way where they make the wrong appointment and Palace threaten relegation.
Right. Well, firstly, if Lampard does go to Palace, of course it's a new direction. Their previous manager was Roy Hodgson. So, yes, of course, it's going to be a brand new direction. And it's not going to be the wrong appointment. Palace aren't that stupid, and Frank Lampard ain't that shit to get relegated. They also have some quality players that, if you start playing in the right way, they could easily become a mid-table team quite easily.
Maybe challenge for the Europa Conference League if they bring the right players in.
No,
I mean, yeah, that would have to be one heck of a good recruitment. It certainly wouldn't be first season, but I see no reason why a couple of seasons, if they get the right recruitment done, then they could easily do that. But what about the rest of you? Do you think Frank Lampard to Palace? What sort of impact do you think that has for likes of Zaha, Eze, who are a quality at Palace, who might thrive under an attacking manager?
Yeah, definitely. I think, like me personally, I think it can only get better for them because you know they've already got a good team. I think obviously in the summer it's going to be a bit of a rebuild though because a lot of their like older players are out of contract. So yeah, but I mean obviously the Palace fans, which are probably top 3 in the Premier League for me, the best fans. The atmosphere, as in the atmosphere they make. They deserve to see better football. Even though Hodgson, don't get me wrong, he's done a quality job at Palace, securing them, easily, staying in the Prem. But now they need to go forward as a club. And Lampard, obviously Chelsea didn't really work out in the, in his second after the first season. But I think if he can get a decent backing, I mean, he don't even have to bring in the best of players because it's not going to happen at Palace. But if you can build the team around Zaha, I mean, for me personally, I think Zahavi stay anyway because he hasn't really done enough to earn a big move. Plus, he's like 28, 29. I mean, people think he's still young, but he's not really.
Ooh, what, Zaha?
Yeah, Zaha. And then if you
make the team around Zaha, Eze, and Benteke.
Yeah. I mean, Benteke's on fire now as well. So I mean, it's just the defense.
I do hear that.
Midfield.
Yeah, there is definitely positives for Palace, and we'll see where they go. But I've got another thing to go do very, very quickly. So we're wrapping it up there. Normally I wouldn't be ending it so abruptly, but I've got 4 minutes till I find out what Argyle are fucking doing at the moment, and it best be a fucking centre back or I won't be happy.
I kind of
So we're gonna.
I wish we could have found out live.
Well, I'm planning on doing another stream. So for me to do that, I then need to be prepared so that I can go sort shit out. So we're not going to do it live, but I will be on a stream. So if you want to join that, then feel free. It'll probably be around 4:10 by the time I've everything's pretty much done. But we are wrapping it up there. If you do want to join me there, I'll be on at about 4:10 discussing Argyle news. But please leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel with notifications on. Check out our Twitter at Let's Talk EPL and No Context LTPL, Instagram at Let's Talk EPL _ and TikTok at Let's Talk Premier League. But Daniel, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at CSC Daniel MTG, and make sure you watch the show from last night, 8:30.
Yes, 100%. And Aaron, what about you? Where can they find you?
So you can, of course, find me on Twitter at Aaron_Challoner, and also Forever Football DRFC. It was nice actually not thinking about Donny today, just going out with Chantel for the day. But yeah, really nice day today. And yeah, Donny will be back on, sure, I'm sure. Wellens Barmy Army.
100%, and Wellens is a forward. Kenny, where can they find you, bro?
It's Pub Bros Class on Twitter and Kenny TV on YouTube.
Buzzing. And what about you, Lewis?
You can find me on Instagram at LewisPerry55. You can find me on YouTube at Perry Sports, and you can find me officially now on Twitter at LewisPerry160, I believe it is.
Perfect. And what about you, Charlie?
Yeah, Twitter at One Rovers Vlogs and YouTube One Rovers Vlogs as well.
Perfect. And Egda saying, Victor Roy at your peril. You can find me in the chat box. Yes, we can. Egda, big up to yourself as well. As I said, I'm running away. I've got things to go check out on Twitter. As I said, Argyle, if you've done something stupid, I will be so fuming. It could just be a contract renewal, but I'll be even more fuming then. That's for sure.
I was going to say, I saw on Twitter there was a few fans saying Danny Mayer or Edwards, so predicting that.
Yeah, it could be a contract one, but look, we're wrapping it up there. A big thanks to everyone that's been watching. As I said, I'll be back here in about 10 minutes time with Argyle chat. Link might be put in the description if it's not something damn right annoying. But a big thanks to everyone watching. I'll be back at 4:10. But until then, have a good day.